Welcome to this deep dive. We've got quite a stack of recent news updates here from all sorts of sources, and our mission basically is to cut through that noise fast.
Yep, pull out the key nuggets.
Exactly. The important bits of knowledge, the insights, help you see what's really key.
Maybe spot some connections, too.
Right. Things you might have missed. It's about getting informed, efficiently, just using what the source material tells us.
That's the plan. Strictly what these specific reports say. No added spin, just exploring the material we have here.
Okay, let's dive in. U.S. politics first. What are the sources highlighting there?
Well, the first thing seems to be the Supreme Court. Sources are saying they've blocked an immigration law, a controversial one.
Blocked it. Why?
Constitutional concerns, apparently. That's the report's site, anyway. About its scope or how it was meant to work.
Gotcha. And Congress, anything there?
Yeah, tax policy, big debate heating up, according to the sources.
And the impact could be middle-class families?
That's what the material suggests, yeah. Could hit them noticeably.
Okay. Now, you mentioned some sharper points where it gets really interesting.
Right. This is pretty interesting based on the sources. They highlight the Trump administration. Well, they're reportedly looking to cut funding to Harvard University.
Harvard? Really? Why?
The reason given in the reports, concerns about ideological bias there at the institution.
Wow. Okay. And that's causing ripples, I bet.
Oh, yeah. The sources say it's already kicked off a big debate, academic freedom versus government getting involved in universities, that whole thing.
It's a messy one. Lots of angles there, yeah.
Definitely. And another thing, the reports flag Congress reportedly moving to block California.
Block California on what?
Their plan, to phase out petrol-only cars.
Right, that plan. And the argument against it from Congress.
Lawmakers cited in the material are worried about disrupting the auto industry nationally, limiting choices for consumers, that sort of thing.
Okay, so just to be super clear here for everyone listening, we're just relaying what these specific reports say, right? This isn't us weighing in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Purely what's in the source material we have in front of us.
No opinions, no endorsements,
Yeah.
just the info from the reports.
Exactly. Okay, should we shift gears? Global politics.
Yeah, let's do it. What are the sources saying globally?
Okay, reports indicate the U.S. is announcing new sanctions targeting some foreign entity.
An entity accused of election interference.
That's what the material specifies, yeah. That's the accusation.
Got it. And elsewhere on the global stage.
Well, related to stability, I guess.
Yeah.
The UN is reportedly calling for urgent peace talks.
Because of escalating conflicts, which the reports mention.
Exactly. Happening in various regions noted in the sources.
Now, Ukraine gets specific mention, right?
It does. Sources suggest Russia's advance up in the northeast. It might be an attempt to set up a buffer zone. That's the term used.
A buffer zone. And Ukrainian officials are warning about this.
Yeah, they're reportedly warning about increased military activity linked to this push. The idea of a buffer zone, strategically. It's about creating space, preventing cross-border stuff, give some context to the reports.
Right. Makes sense as a potential goal, based on what the sources say. Okay, what else globally? Something about tariffs.
Reports indicate Trump is delaying those planned EU tariffs, the 50% ones.
Delaying them. So trade tensions ease up a bit.
That's what the analysts quoted in the material suggests, yeah. Eases the immediate pressure between the U.S. and Europe.
But Biz, there's always a but, isn't there?
Well, the sources do note that uncertainty is still there around future trade policy. So it's like a pause, maybe, not a full resolution, according to these reports.
Okay, interesting. A temporary calm, perhaps? Let's move to business and markets then. What are the sources showing us?
First off, reports of the stock market rebounding.
Good news for some. And the Fed, the Federal Reserve.
They're reportedly hinting at potential rate cuts.
Okay, let's connect those dots using the sources. The market rebound attributed to tech.
Largely, yeah. The material points to tech earnings beating expectations. Investors cited seem, more optimistic about growth there.
So, good news from tech companies specifically is lifting the mood.
Seems like it. And the Fed hinting at rate cuts.
What's the reported reason for that?
Sources indicate it's a response to, inflation trends. How things are tracking there.
Makes sense.
And?
But cautiously, right?
Exactly. Economists quoted in the material predict a cautious approach from the Fed. If and when they actually cut rates, they have to weigh the impact on the whole economy.
Right. So the reports kind of suggest this picture. Markets up because of strong company performance, especially tech, while the Fed's thinking about the bigger inflation picture. A balancing act.
Pretty much sums up what the sources are conveying there. Okay, ready for some quick stops in other areas?
Yeah, let's hit them. Sports first.
All right, sources mention the NBA Finals are heating up, going to a Game 7.
Ooh, decisive. Always exciting.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, U.S. soccer team. Reportedly facing some criticism after a controversial call in a recent match.
Ah, okay. Moving on. Movies.
Sources say a big blockbuster sequel is just dominating the box office, setting records, apparently.
The usual summer story, maybe. What about smaller films?
Well, interestingly, an upcoming indie film is getting a lot of praise at international festivals, according to the sources, so success at both ends of the spectrum.
Nice. Hey, did you see that specific bit in the sources about Kristen Stewart?
Oh yeah, her directorial debut, The Chronology of Water.
That's the one. Premiered at Cannes, reportedly got a 4-minute standing ovation.
Yeah. Sources praised its bold storytelling and visual style. Sounds like one to watch out for.
Definitely. Okay, music.
Sources report a viral song hitting the top of the streaming charts, and they connect it to maybe a new genre trend emerging.
Interesting. Anything else on music?
Artists are apparently speaking out
Yeah.
about changes in record label contracts, the business side getting some attention there.
Always important. Tech. What's new according to the sources?
Well, a new AI tool is reportedly sparking discussions. Ethics, privacy, the usual concerns.
Seems to happen with every new AI development. Anything else?
Yeah, big one. Reports of a major cybersecurity breach. Exposed personal records. Millions of them.
Oof, not good. Any specific tech product news?
Yeah, digging a bit deeper in the sources. Samsung's latest phone, the Galaxy S25 Edge, it's reportedly launched in South Korea. Cutting-edge tech, the sources say.
Okay. And Google, something about AI ads.
Right. Google's apparently defending its AI-powered search ads. They state users find them helpful.
But there's pushback.
Yeah, critics quote in the sources worry it could impact, the neutrality of search results. So a debate there, according to the material.
Got it. Okay, what about some other domestic things? I saw mentions of wildfires.
Yeah, NBC News reports and our sources say wildfires are still a threat in California. Ongoing emergency responses.
Right. And FOX News reports something about senators.
Debating national security funding. Part of revising defense strategy, it seems, based on the material.
And healthcare. CNN reports.
Sources mention healthcare policies are under scrutiny, following some major developments with pharmaceutical companies.
Lots happening domestically. Did the sources have any this day in history notes?
They did, actually. 2 flagged events. The U.S. landing its first satellite on Mars, big space milestone.
Wow. And the other?
A groundbreaking medical discovery that reportedly reshaped cancer treatment protocols back in the day.
Important moments.
Okay.
Finally, arts and culture.
Yep. Sources report a contemporary artists exhibition is stirring debate about interpreting modern art.
Always a good conversation starter. Anything else?
A historic museum reopening after major restoration work.
Nice. Any specific festivals or institutions mentioned?
Yeah, 2 interesting ones. The Serendipity Arts Festival is apparently turning 10, and it's expanding 10 cities now, including Birmingham and Dubai.
Wow, quite the expansion. And the other?
Tate Modern in London, turning 25. They're hosting special events, panel discussions, artist talks, that kind of thing, according to the sources.
Sounds cool. So, okay, stepping back and looking at everything we just covered from these reports, it's quite a range, isn't it? Global politics, U.S. policy debates, market jitters, tech breakthroughs and controversies, cultural events.
It really is. It definitely underscores how interconnected everything feels and how fast things move. And that's kind of the value of doing this, right? Quickly pulling out these key points from the sources just gives you that snapshot, that breadth.
Absolutely. So maybe here's a thought for you, the listener, to chew on as we wrap this up. When you take this whole collection of reports together, all these different pieces, tariffs, arguments about tech bias, art festivals growing, even looking back at space milestones. What is the sheer variety and how these things sometimes seem connected? Tell us about the complexity, just the speed of the world we're all trying to keep up with right now. And maybe the challenge of really staying informed across it all.
Yeah, something to definitely think about.
That's it for this deep dive.